Hi there, welcome. My name is Mark Alletson. I'm Director of Maths at Carshalton High School for Girls, and I'm here to present a Parents Information Evening video so you can see where your daughter can access all the stuff she needs to get the best result possible. All of it will be using the website that you'll see on the screen in front of you. The web address is chsgmaths.com, and I'm going to take you through that screen there. So I'm not annoying you, I will get rid of my face and I'll just talk over the rest of it. So the first part is, this is the home page. So when you go to chsgmaths.com, like this will be the page that you'll see first. You'll know that your daughter is working on workbooks, and they are here. Because they're in year 11, then it's these three, the Foundation Plus, the Foundation and the Higher. And if you want to see the workbooks in digital format or the answers, if you were to click on one of these, then you'll get the option to look at the workbooks, they're here, or the answers to them, they're here. Okay, but that's not my main goal today. It's more about revision and the final GCSE exams. So I go back to the home page. If we look underneath these workbook links, there are video guides and written guides to our mainly used internet activities for maths revision and practice. They are Corbett Maths, Hegarty Maths, Dr. Frost Maths, and also I've done a video of how you access them here. So if you're not sure about what I've written on the written guide, there's a video guide. So if you click on these links, it will tell you how to access that. It makes it easier for you to understand what they're doing and how they're doing it. If we go further down the web page, you'll notice there are practice papers at the bottom. So these are practice papers written by Edexcel, who are the exam board they will be doing their exam with. There are only two types of exam in maths. There's higher or foundation. Your daughter will know which one she's in. If she's in set 1 or set 2, she'll be currently on the higher tier. And if she's in set below 2, she'll be on foundation tier. If you were to click on either of those, for example, if I click on higher like this, you will see that there are lots of boxes here that should be populated. Inside each of these, where it says set 1 higher, this bit here that's been highlighted is the paper number 1. It says 1 higher. Then there's the mark scheme underneath that. So if I click on this one, it opens up to an exam paper written by Edexcel that is non-calculator, and it's just like the exam would be itself. Okay. If we go back to where that was, underneath is the mark scheme. Now that isn't as useful for students as it is for us, but they are able to look at the mark scheme. If I open it up, you'll see there are information points made by the examiners, and they can say they get method marks for a complete method, and it gives them ways of doing it, and they can see that you don't just get a mark for an answer, you have to do this part of it and then for correct order. So they've got a method mark and an accuracy mark. So it's worthwhile having a quick look at that if you're not sure where marks are allocated. If we go back to it again, so that's set 1, paper 1. Over here, it says practice set 1 higher work solutions. This is where somebody, either myself or another member of staff from either this school or somewhere else, has written the answers on the paper. So if I open this up, this will be the written solutions. So if you scroll down, there's how someone has answered it. So this would get full marks in the exam, okay? It's not always going to be as helpful without method, but you should be able to follow bits of it and sort of see what they've done by looking at the written solutions. So that's those exam papers there. Now set 1 is just a group of papers. It's no harder or easier than any of the others. In each set there are 3 papers, just like in the real exam. There's paper 1, which is non-calculator. There's paper 2, which is allowed with the calculator, and there's also paper 3. So when your daughter sits a final exam, she will have to do 3 maths exam papers. Now, once she's done those and practiced those with the solutions here, if we go down, there's another group of papers. It's called set 2 for no other reason that it's another set, and she's got the same set of 3 papers in there. And then for set 3, etc., set 4, set 5, and down to set 6. So in the higher, there are 3 times 6 sets. There are 18 practice papers with written solutions for her here. So that's where she should go in the higher. It's exactly the same for foundation. So if I go back to the home page and I scroll down to the bottom where the past papers are, if we click on foundation, you'll have exactly the same setup. So you've got past papers and mark schemes, written solutions. As you go down, you see they're here, and the written solutions are here. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to mention, the practice papers. Secondly, I want to go into the GCSE Maths, which is what they'll be doing. So across the top here, as I'm moving across, you'll see one of the tabs says GCSE Maths, and I'm going to talk through a few of these. So the first thing is suggested revision workbooks. So if you want to go and purchase something, these are the ones we recommend as school with the suggested ISBN. These are the foundation and the higher versions of the recommended workbook. Okay, so that's on this tab at the top, which is suggested revision. Second, aiming for. Now, rather than doing questions on absolutely everything, if you're aiming for a particular grade, then you'll see here we've got the revision guides for different grades, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So if you're aiming for a 9, then all the questions in that section on this revision guide are all around the grade 9, and you can see the solutions or answers are just above it. So you can focus in on a particular grade to sort of make sure you've got that one. I probably wouldn't start people at the 9 because it will be quite difficult and possibly demoralizing. Maybe start with one below where you are, get comfortable with that grade, and then move on. So if you click on those, that'll give you your aiming for grades. Next on the link, it says Hegarty Maths checklist. Because you've been in the school since we rolled out Hegarty Maths, you'll know it's an online video and assessing program, and the students can find a video on absolutely everything they need to know about maths and check it. There are 3 tiers for that. There's the foundation tier, the higher tier, and this one that's called crossover is the topics that are between the two. So I'm going to just look at the foundation for now. If you're doing foundation paper, these are the topics you need to know about. I'll just zoom in on that a bit. So where it says Hegarty Maths, if you just type in the number 13, it will give you the video and the questions testing your skill on ordering positive integers. So that's this bit on the left-hand side. And all of these topics can be ticked off if you've done them or if you just feel comfortable already. So don't feel you need to do absolutely every one of those. If you do all of those videos, you will definitely be very well prepared, however. There's a red, amber, green, and this is going to help you decide which ones you want to focus on. So if you look through the list and you think, I know this, I know this, I know this, you can just tick off the green. When you're a bit unsure, tick it off as red or maybe amber. And then when you've done a full list, these are all the number sections. Just watch the videos on the one that are red or amber, so you're not doing stuff you already know. That's one of the things about revision that's important. Don't revise stuff you already know because you're not improving yourselves. You are feeling better because you can do the work, but that's not really helping you as much as doing stuff that doesn't. So get out your comfort zone. Okay, so that is the Hegarty Maths checklist. Okay, the next thing I think in order is probably one of the ones that's used most often, where it says here, CHSG questions and answers. CHSG is a school that created this bank of resources. This is not ours, but I do have them, their permission. So what they did is they grouped together the topics that have been on the last 5 years worth of exam papers, and they grouped them all into individual little packets. So if, for example, we scroll down here, we have, let's find one, two-way tables. If we click on two-way tables, they've found all the two-way table questions in the last 5 years, and then they're in a booklet. So if I zoom out a little bit, these are all the two-way tables in real exam papers that have been already done, so you can test yourself on those. And then if you remember the number, at the top here it says 45 on the top left of the screen, two-way tables. That's questions. If you get answers and you scroll down to number 45, again, they're written answers. So you can just click on number 45 and it will bring up the same two-way table, but now the questions are all written in there with the solutions for you. So it's a really good way of picking a topic, trying the topic, and then seeing what you should have done on that topic. Really, really good say. So that's on the GCSE Maths CHSG questions and answers. Okay, now the next one is the revision section. I am going on, but you can pause this video and watch it again whenever you want. So talking about the revision section now. So if we look at revision, these are the digital ones. So Dr. Frost, your daughter will know about this, and there'll be more information coming out to you later, but I want this video to mainly focus on this website. On maths, Hegarty Maths, and the CHSG questions. However, underneath that, there are lots of other things I really want to draw your attention to. The first is ways you can revise. You don't want to be one of those students who spends 3 hours a night reading through a revision guide when it doesn't make any difference. So click on ways you can revise, and there are over 40 different techniques, some of which are obvious, some of which aren't, for you to just do your revision. Everyone is different, everyone learns in a different way. So have a scroll through these. All of these are different ways that you can revise. So have a look at them, go through it. It's a really, really useful thing to try something different. Okay, so that's ways you can revise. The next one is planning your revision. The school will be preparing your students and, your daughter with some revision materials, revision plans. There's one I found here. So if you click on this link, it will give you guides on how you can plan your revision. Next is the language. Maths is, for some students, easy if they know what to do, but because the words are confusing, they don't know what to do. So if you click on the language of maths, then you get the sort of words that they use in exams and then an example of what they mean. So when it says complete or find or simplify or solve or etc., it gives you a reason of what to do, because then once you know what to do, often students can do that. So this is a guide to the language of maths. Okay, so that's a really good one to have a quick look at. Tips from the exam board. So the exam board actually have to publish tips for students. It's part of them creating the exams themselves. So this actually comes straight from the exam board, Edexcel. So have a look through those. That's not from me, that is from the exam board. So have a look through that. There are tips from the actual people who write the exam. Okay, underneath that, we've got the formula you need to learn. No longer in maths are you given a front page with certain formula you can use. You actually have to learn it before you go into the exam. So this is the poster that you will have to know. Notice there's a slight different color between some of the things. At the bottom it says foundation tier is the slightly darker blue, so they have to learn all the things in dark blue, and the higher tier is light blue, which means you have to learn absolutely all of the foundation, but also the ones that are slightly lighter blue as well. So for higher, you have to know all of these. If I just sort of highlight this area here, all of the volumes section, you need to learn those before you enter the exam. It's one page only, but you do need to know those. It's worthwhile printing off and sticking on a wall somewhere. Okay. Next, we have revision cards for both foundation and higher. I've managed to find online a freely accessible revision card pack. So if you were to print these and you fold them over, it's got, for example, state the order in which operations should be carried out, and on the reverse, this is the order. The next one is the term used to describe numbers written in this form. That is the solution. So one card has a question, the back of it is the answer. So there's revision cards, lots and lots of them there for foundation and also for higher. And finally, a revision list. Students like to have a little checklist, not necessarily Hegarty, but just the topics that will be on the two papers. So if you click on the revision list, then you'll get the things you need to know, and you can sort of tick off how you feel about certain topics. So this session is the algebra section, and you can tick off whether you can do these things or whether you need to work on them. Okay, there's an approximate grade for that topic as well, and that's for the higher checklist. So it's quite big, but a lot of it you may already know, so don't feel you have to do everything. You may already know much of this. Okay, and there's one of those for higher and foundation. Right, there are other videos that will come out, but right now that's probably enough to be getting on with. But please do visit chsgmaths.com, and it's all accessible from this page. Thank you for listening.